Hi, this is Rahul from BI Training Hub. In today's video, we'll talk about bar charts. We'll connect to Tableau Desktop and we'll see what all different bar charts we can create and what all different customizations we have in these bar charts. So let's open Tableau Desktop. I'm using Tableau 2020.1 version. Once you open Tableau Desktop, this will be your landing page where we have connect section towards left side. From this connect section, we can connect Tableau Desktop to different data sources. So we'll connect this Tableau file to Excel. So let's go to Microsoft Excel from this to a file section. Then we'll connect to sample superstore data. To get the sample superstore data, once you install Tableau Desktop, you can go to My Documents. In that you'll see My Tableau repository folder. In My Tableau repository, we have data sources folder. In data sources, we'll have different folders with Tableau version name. I'll go to 2020.1. In that ENUS data, we have sample superstore. Let's connect to that sample superstore Excel file and we'll be on this page. Now here we have three tabs from the Excel: Orders, People and Returns tab. Let's understand what are different columns we have in Orders tab. So click on this View Data from Orders tab and it will show first 10,000 records from this Orders tab. So here we have 9,994 records in this Order tab. So it is showing all the records from the Orders tab from Sample Superstore Excel, and it is displaying all the column names. So let's use this Orders tab in current workbook. Drag the Orders tab and place it in this canvas. Then it will display all the columns which are coming from Orders tab along with its data. So let's go to first worksheet. There is worksheet 1 option which is showing go to worksheet. Click on that worksheet 1 and we'll be on this first worksheet. In that first worksheet, towards left side, we have dimensions and measures. So all the columns which are coming from Excel are divided into dimensions and measures. Now how they are divided, we have covered that in our previous video. So to understand how these columns are divided into dimensions and measures, please see the previous video. Now we have Show Me section towards right side. You can click on the Show Me section and it will show a list of 24 different charts. In that, in third row, first column, we have bar chart. To create bar chart, we need at least one measure. So if you see at the end of that Show Me section, it shows for horizontal bars, try 0 or more dimensions and 1 or more measures. Let's hide this Show Me section. Now we'll create first bar chart with subcategory and sales. Let's understand how much sales we are getting from each subcategory. So I'll drag this subcategory column and we'll put it in row. So once we drag this subcategory column and once we place it in row, it will display a list of all the subcategories coming from the data which are sorted in alphabetical order by default. Then let's drag sales column and put it in columns. Once you drag sales in columns, it will create a bar chart. If you look at this subcategory which we have dragged from dimension, as it is a discrete column, its color is blue. Whereas if you drag anything from measures, its color will be green because that is a continuous column. And whenever we drag any column from measure section, the default aggregation is sum. That's why it is showing sum of sales. Now did we select we need bar chart? No, here with one string column and one measure, the recommended graph is bar chart. If you want to change the graph type, you can go to Show Me section and it will enable all the charts which are possible with one dimension and one measure. So if you want to change the graph type, we just need to hover on that graph. It will show you what that graph is. So this is highlight table. If you want to convert current graph into highlight table, click on highlight table and it will change the view. If you want to change it to pie chart, click on pie chart, change it to stacked bar, change it to tree map, or you can change it to packed bubbles. So you can change the graph type directly from the Show Me section. Let's come back to this bar chart and let's hide the Show Me section. Now once we have this bar chart, currently the graph is sorted in alphabetical order of subcategory. Now we want to sort this graph in descending order of sales. As we are using sales column in this graph, we want to sort the graph in either descending order or in ascending order of sales. If you want to sort this graph, there are 4 options to sort this graph. First option is on this x-axis. Next to the sales column name on the x-axis, we have small sort button. So if we click on this sort button, the graph will be sorted in descending order of sales. Click on it again, it will sort the graph in ascending order. Third time click on it, it will clear the sort. This is one option of sorting. Second option is on top of this bar, there is small sort button. You can use this sort button to sort the graph in descending order, ascending order, or you click on this sort icon third time and it will clear the sort. This is second option of sorting the graph. Third option is below this server tab, we have sort icon. This sort the graph in ascending order, and next to that we have sort the graph in descending order. This is third option of sorting the graph. When you hover on any sort icons, it shows a message which says sorted descending by sales within subcategory. So we always sort a dimension by used measure. So the fourth option of sorting this graph is, as we want to sort this graph by sales, we are actually sorting subcategory by sales. So you can right click on this subcategory column and you will see sort option. So once you click on this sort option, it will open a window where we'll have multiple options to sort. So first is data source order, then we have alphabetical order, by field, manual sort or nested sort. When we have more than one dimension, this nested sort will be helpful. Let's sort this graph by field. Then we have option of sort order. We can sort the graph in either ascending order or in descending order. And we need to select by which field you want to sort the graph. So right now it is sorted in descending order of sales, sum of sales. But what if we want to sort this graph by profit? Though the graph is by sales, we have subcategory by sales, but we want to sort this graph by profits. In that case, you can go to this drop down of field name and you can select which column you want to use in the sorting. So even if we have not dragged profit column on the graph, still we can use this profit column in sorting. So you can select profit from this drop down. Aggregation, I'll keep sum. And now if you look at the graph is sorted in descending order of profit. Let's close this window and we'll get a bar chart which is subcategory by sales but sorted in descending order of profit. Now let's come back to this bar chart and we'll sort it in descending order of sales. Click on the sort button either on x-axis on top of the bar, or you can go to this toolbar and click on the sort button and the graph will be sorted in descending order of sales. Now if you want to understand how much sales we are getting from any of the subcategory, we can hover on that subcategory and it will tell us how much sales we are getting from that particular subcategory. But if we want to compare these numbers, we cannot remember each number and then compare with other bars. So if you want to label this graph, if you want to put sales value against each bar, we can use this label option here. On top, we have this T written there, which is for show mark label. We can click on this show mark label and it will put used measure inside the label. So at the end of each bar, now we'll get sum of sales and label. So this is one option of putting labels. Second is, instead of clicking on the show mark label, in mark section we have this label option here. So as we want to label the graph by sales, we can drag sales column and we can put it on label. It will have sum of sales in label and now we'll get the sales value at the end of each bar. With this option, we can drag any columns in label. Let's say the graph is by sales, but I want to show profit on label. We can drag this profit column and we can put it on label. So even if the graph is by sales, we'll get profit on label. Or let's say I want to display subcategory at the end of each bar again. So we can drag subcategory on label and it will show subcategory values at the end of each bar. So that's how we can drag different dimensions and measures inside label. Let's bring sales column on label. As the graph is by sales, I'll put sales value on label. Now, if you look at this graph, it is not entire view. There is some space below this graph. To make this graph entire view, do not drag this graph manually from here. Just go to the standard button here. On top we have this fit section which is showing standard value as default. Go to the drop down and there are 4 options: standard, fit width, fit height and entire view. If you make this graph entire view, it will be entire view for the current worksheet. Once we get this bar chart, let's customize the graph. Now we want to change its color, so you can go to this color option. In that color option, you'll have multiple color options. You can select any color to change the graph color. If you have any specific RGB value which you want to add, if you want to select a specific color, there is more colors option. You can click on it and then you'll get this window from where you can select which color you want, or you can add the RGB value or HTML code for a specific color. I'll select this color and click outside. But when we change the color of the graph, it is giving the same color to all the bars. What if we want to change its color based on something? Let's say based on sales column. So if we have more sales, give darker color. If we have less sales value, give lighter color. So if you want to change color based on sales, we can drag sales column and place it on this color option in marks. If you drag sum of sales on color, we'll have a color legend towards right side, which is showing the minimum value of the current graph, which is 3024 as minimum value of color legend, and maximum value is 330k, which is placed as maximum of this color legend. Now we can see the color legend based on the sales value, but it is showing blue color palette. If you want to change the color palette, we can go to color option again. Now this time it won't show you the options directly. It won't show you list of colors directly, because we have dragged sum of sales on color. So we have option of edit colors. We can go to edit colors and you can click on this square to change the color palette. One option is we can select this square to change the color palette, or second option is if you see the drop down here, we'll have list of predefined color palettes. From this list we can select which color palette we want. I'll select orange blue diverging, click on OK, and we'll have the color palette based on the sales value. Now let's name this worksheet 1 as bar chart. Double click on this worksheet 1 and we'll name it as bar chart. Now we'll go to next worksheet. Next to this bar chart tab, we have new worksheet option. You can click on this new worksheet and it will open a blank worksheet here. Now in this new worksheet, we want to change something in the previous bar. So instead of recreating the graph, we'll duplicate this view. You can right click on this bar chart tab and there is option of duplicate. Once you click on duplicate, we'll have this bar chart 2, which is duplicate of your first graph. If you change anything in this view, it won't impact on the previous chart. Now in the current bar chart, we want to add one more dimension. So if you see this dimension section, we have category column here. Let's drag category column and place it in row before subcategory. Once we drag category in row before subcategory, now our graph will be category and subcategory by sales, which is colored by sales. But what if we want to give one color to all the subcategories from one category? So we have these 4 subcategories in furniture. We want to give the same color there. That means we are coloring this graph by category. So we can drag this category column and we can put it on color. Now if you observe this color legend towards right side, whenever you drag a major, in previous graph we have dragged a major on color. Whenever we drag a major on color, it will find the minimum value from the current graph, maximum value from the current graph, and color legend will be based on that minimum and maximum. Whereas in the current graph, as we have dragged category on color, whenever we drag a dimension on color, for each value of that dimension we'll have separate color. That's why furniture is having one color, office supply is having second color, and technology is having third color. And all the subcategories from one category are colored in one color. So let's move to next worksheet. In next worksheet, we'll create one more bar chart. with subcategory and sales. Let's sort the graph in descending order of sales. We'll make the graph entire, and let's put label here using show mark label. So right now we have subcategory by sales sorted in descending order of sales and with the sales value or label. Now here in our data we have ship mode column. This ship mode is used to move products from one place to other place. Now we want to understand how much sales we are getting in each subcategory through each ship mode. So we'll drag the ship mode column and we'll place it in row after subcategory. But as we have more ship modes, as we have 4 values in ship mode, and then in each subcategory we have multiple ship modes, we have too many bars here. If you look at the left bottom corner, we have 68 marks. So there are 68 bar charts right now. So this mark says how many distinct values you have on your current view. There are 68 values here. As the graph is entire view, we are trying to fit all the bars in the same area. That's why it is overlapping these labels and the overall bar size is reduced. If you want a normal bar chart, you can change this fit section from entire view to standard. With this standard, we'll have normal bar size, and as we have multiple values, we'll have a scroll bar. You can use the scroll bar to scroll up and scroll down to understand what all different values we are having in the view. But because of this scroll bar, it becomes difficult to read the graph as we have to scroll up and scroll down to understand what values we are getting through each ship mode in each subcategory. So instead of bringing ship mode in row, we'll drag the ship mode from here and we'll put it on color to get a stacked bar chart. With this stacked bar chart, in each row we'll have one bar for subcategory, which is divided into multiple colors based on the ship mode value. Now we can make this graph entire view, and we'll have sales value on each ship mode in each subcategory. We can hover on any color and it will tell us what is that ship mode and the subcategory. If we want to differentiate these colors, we can go to color, border, and we can put white color border. So whenever the graph is changing color, we'll have white color border in between. Now there are few colors where there is no label because there is no sufficient space to hold those labels. By default, Tableau will not overlap the labels on other marks, but if you want to override that feature and if you want to display all the labels, you can go to this label option. At the end, we have one checkbox which says allow labels to overlap other marks. If you select it, you will get all the labels, but it is not recommended because once you add all the labels, it will be difficult to read them. So avoid using this option. So this is a stacked bar chart. I'll just rename this graph as stacked bar chart, which is telling us how much sales value we are getting in each subcategory through each ship mode. In this bar chart example, we have always dragged dimension in row and measure in column. So is there any rule that we should have dimension in row and measure in column? There is no rule like that. We can drag dimension in column and measure in row and we'll get a vertical bar. If you want to swap these rows and columns, before sort button, we have a swap button. If you click on this swap button, your row will be moved to columns and column will be moved to row. So there is no rule in whether we should drag dimension in row and measure in column for bar chart. You can drag either dimension in row or column based on whether you want to have horizontal bar or vertical bar. So these are the bar charts which we can create in Tableau with the customizations. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more videos.